these areas for mentoring, to work, to training, to everything that is there. This is the city of Columbus, the involvement from the different departments that were going on. Now, I'll tell you, a lot of people didn't know that these things were happening, but we were meeting, one major meeting a month at the police department, and the different organizations were having meetings during that time. This is the area that we took on, the WMPR zone. And it's called the WMPR because it would be Newberry. It's on the north side of it, Newberry, right there, the freeway at 70. On the south side would be Whittier. On the east side of here is Rose, and on the west side of here is Parsons. So all of these organizations said, we'll focus on this area to see how we can help. We did the demographics, got all the demographics, got all the information to it. Now, I won't be able to show you all of the stuff that we did during this time, but this is the stuff that will be good for ceasefire. And that's the reason I'm advocating WMPR zone. Do a little commercial for ceasefire, because we got a lot of information, but I'm sure we can get it for the other. Yes.
Where is APDS living? I mean,
okay, if I can, just if you remember, it was just like right here, we're right in the heart.
Right in the heart?
Yep, right in the heart. And actually, one of the reasons that the mayor came to us was that they were looking for an organization, some people who had a relationship with some of the street organizations. What I said to him was that some of our customers are involved in street organizations, but our specialty is working with them for substance abuse and violence issues, not as gang. We asked them not to wear their colors, not to flash their signs, and we haven't had any issues at all in terms of different organizations, street organizations at all. But then all of a sudden we were experts in gang activity or gang, and we are not. That is the strategic. That is Alexander and all. We get information from that. They know what's going on, but we would work with those persons as individuals in terms of what they need. But this is like the demographics, total population of the area, the breakdown in terms of race and all. Females, which is mostly females in the area, totally. And so I'm just going to kind of shoot through these things, folks, that you have them. But this was all the kind of information that we pulled from the area, and that was with the help of Ohio State University. A student from Ohio State got together to put that information together. It's like many of the males moved because of opportunity or conversely, whether they're victims of violence or incarceration that plague young adult males in the inner city. And so you got a little bit of both. You know, you got folks who were like, if I'm doing well, I need to move. And then so you had all of that going on as opposed to how do we make the schools better that are serving this community. It was more about how do we get away from this situation. And a lot of incarceration and just all that was going on. And this is the idea that the housing units in the area, 83% were occupied. I still question that number because we went around and checked and looked at the houses, and I'm telling you, it is like, I don't know what the percentage is, I don't want to be, but it's 83% I did not leave, but as far as on record, that's what's showing, and the vacant houses occurred quickly and all. 49% were occupied by owners, and almost 4,000 households reported an income in 2000 with a median household income of $23,170 in the whole house.
That was 2000. That was before the current crisis, foreclosures and stuff.
Right. Thank you. That's just it. And then these are some of the accomplishments that we did. And we're real proud of. We collected data and used data-driven policy decisions. Before the program was started, what had occurred was the city of Columbus had contracted with the University of Cincinnati and had also Ohio State University involved in terms of getting data about what was going on in the city of Columbus. But we were fortunate at that time because I was in the room and it was like, here we go, you know, the practitioners thinking that we know what to do and what's going on. The enforcement was in the room. We had FBI, police department, ATF, everybody in the room. They figured they know what's going on. And then we had the political folks who were in the room who felt like they knew what was going on. So we get the information from Cincinnati and Ohio State, and the police department goes, wait a minute, we got all of that. You know what I mean? It was like right here in our backyard. The police department was like keeping it close over here. And it was all this, you know, what I'm trying to say is we have so much going on in this community, and we don't connect with each other. We don't use the resources with each other. Everybody's got their silo that they're operating in. And we had went down to Cincinnati and got all this information, and we sitting there talking, and police is going, wait a minute, we got this, we got that. So we got the data, and then we start working from there saying, okay, this is really what's going on. I mean, a lot of the social service, we had no idea of the gang activity that was going on, how organized people were, how they were recruiting, how the elementary school, how they were doing the whole 9 yards, you know. And so we began to get the information, and so some of us were in the room saying, look, they need other options. And I'll be honest, we were out there at the police academy. So it's tough out the police academy to go, hey, look, we can't just be arresting people. We got to find something else going on. But if some of us were in the room and said, we got to do some other things, and we all started talking and working together and communicating with one another. Then we had folks who were talking, when you get to federal, this is kind of a joke, but when you get to federal and all of that, they talk in acronyms. You know, they go, it's AFCO, not DETS, other people going, what? So I do know one thing we got to do is get a common language. Because the researchers got their language, the practitioners got their language, so we get a common language, and I think a lot of that has to do with just us respecting each other, because the person that we all are working with seem to be the same people. Right. So we're working with the same people, so we got to get, like, before a person, if we know a person is coming out of prison, they've been tracked all that time in prison. So when they come out of prison, if they come into APDS, let us have some information so that when they get there, we can already start being prepared to work with them. So that we can, that's the way you change things. Now, everybody's not going to want to do that. So they need to sign off and say, I'm willing for you to pass my information on. But it would be such a big help when we're doing that, providing services. So anyway, a lot of partnerships were formed, and actually the whole piece with the advisory council and all of us, we were working, and most of us were working together on this KAYND project here. And then we listed how many youth ages 22 and under receive services, 213 customers aged 23 and over. When we first started off, we got the grant, it was for 22. It was actually 22 and younger. But we know that the kids who are 20, or young people 22 and under are influenced by the older folks. So we said, let's work with the older folks too. And then we just kept on working and work with as many people as possible. APDS, we opened a new satellite office in the COVID building so that we could help folks connect with employment quicker, easier. A new adult basic literacy class, education class, because we saw the need. Our data said a lot of people had received their high school diploma, so we were like, well, we still have the responsibility to provide the opportunity for them to get it. We changed the hours at our rec center because it gave more time at night for the kids to participate in there. And then open up a free summer camp. Yes, we had a free one, then we opened up one at Drive-In Park. So this is, and we did Keep Columbus Beautiful was involved. They hired 3 persons from the community to help with picking up trash, to help with removing graffiti off the walls. All of that was going on. We got a community garden, which is going on right now at Howell and Carpenter, with 8 beds in there. Scholarships we provided. We got Dr. Wilkerson to join us, which is how we got the connection here. And so she's been working closely with us. And then these are the things that we worked on and what we tracked. Decreased violent crimes, enforcement. We had the data. I didn't bring all the data with me today, but just how we were tracking, what we were looking at. Decreased gun-related offenses, increased community involvement, increased community involvement. Second one was from a resident's perspective. The other was for enforcement, because we got a report from the residents saying that the block watch was very, very active. I mean, we got a long, long list. But the police department wasn't getting that kind of same information. So there was a little discrepancy. So instead of you right, you wrong, we just took the torch for both to see how we would go at that. Decreased